no sign of the importance of this place, but you can see this is the bend that we are interested in right here, the bend in the Neshaminy Creek. And if you see, it comes down and then there's this bend, right? And I believe this is where the castle was built, right, by Crazy Tom or whatever his name was. And then this bend is where Tamanend. Oh, look, you know what? Tamanend Avenue. So there is a sign. There's a little reference over here, Tamanend Avenue. But this is where he died. So let's go find it. Hello, YouTube. Today I'm out here on a little bit of a scouting mission. I'm gonna scout the area to make a better video about this, so we'll see if I even use any of this content. But I think the grave is sort of this way, in the woods somewhere off the trail. I'm on the Neshaminy Creek Greenway, and I believe Chief Tamanend's, he was a king, but I believe Chief Tamanend's grave is somewhere back here in the woods. I'm gonna go a little bit deeper. I'm gonna look for an entrance here. Let's see if I can find a way in. My goal for this trip is to just find a way into the woods, and then maybe we can see if we can find any stones or rocks that might signify an ancient site. We'll take a look. So I think I see a way in here, so let's go. Now this blacktop looks very new. The asphalt is hardly weathered at all, so it can't be more than a year or two old. Looks like maybe this past winter was the first winter that this blacktop saw, I'd guess. That's how new it is. You can see on the sides, on either side of the path, the landscape has been cleared, you know, so. It just makes me wonder how many people walk down this path and don't know that this is such an important place in the history of this landscape and the people who lived here for thousands of years. So, yeah. Should we go in this way? Yeah, let's just go for it. I think this is right. Well, it's actually pretty swampy back here, which is a little disappointing. I was hoping to be able to get deeper into the woods, but I think I can understand now why the grave is sort of lost, why it's considered that it's been gone. You know, there's no obvious place, at least so far as I'm walking through the woods here, there's no obvious place where a grave would be. But I'm going to keep looking, see if I can get around this swamp. This is the swampy area back here, and I think Neshaminy Creek is sort of just down there. I'm figuring out the topography here, so I'll walk around a little more and get back to you. All right. So I found a deer path, if you can see it. And it kind of goes there. So let's walk along the deer path. You can see where they've trodden. Look. That's a print. These are pretty old prints. This is swampy ground, so yeah, but you can see. And come along here. Look, there's a print. So let's follow the animal trail and see where it leads us. Maybe the deer know how to get around the swamp. So we'll follow them. Whoop, it's swampy, all right. It's swampy. So I think this is the way. We were just back in there. We followed a deer path right through here. And then it goes in. Just an old rubble mound, but it's very old. Look at that. How does a rock like this get here? See, this is the kind of thing we're looking for. Because see how it's rounded? A round rock like that. How does it end up here? This tree was probably alive when Chief Tammany died. Look at this stand of massive old tulip trees. I'm pretty sure these are tulip trees. They're very old. Pretty big. Look at this one. What's in there? Anything hiding in there? Oh. Uh-oh. Might have a problem here. Let's see what this says. Private property. No trespassing for any purpose. Alright. But we're gonna call New Britain Township and ask if we can go back in these woods and look for the burial of King Tamanend, chief of chiefs of the Lenape, the patron saint of America, the signer of the Treaty of Shackamaxon. I gotta learn how to say that. And one of the great Native Americans to have lived. A peaceful man, and he's buried somewhere back in these woods. So on this scouting mission, I made it as far as at least figuring out that this is fairly boggy area and I need to bring boots. So next time I come back, I'm going to be properly attired. Yeah, I gotta come back with boots and permission because don't want to violate the law, right? And we don't want to violate their personal property. Even though it's too bad that this is private land, hopefully it's owned by the township. I think it seems like the sign was indicating as much. So we'll try to confirm that. And that gives me hope. If this land is owned by the township, then that also gives me hope that someday a memorial to Chief Tamanend could be put somewhere back in these woods or on this ground right here. Like, look where I'm at. I'm at the edge of a field, and there's an old house. I think these are like community buildings. So, yep, okay. There's a huge flock of buzzards circling up there, so the spirits are with us. Look at that buzzard. A little blurry. There are a lot of buzzards flying around. Vultures, you know. So I want to go back in there somewhere next time. But we'll get permission. We'll get permission first. Oh, that's not a buzzard. That is a bald eagle. Wow, look at that. I think that's a bald eagle. It's some kind of hawk. Oh, there we go. Hello to the ancients. They watch over us at all times. Look, it's hunting over the swamp. Wow. Future Sean here, and I'm back home now. I walked around that area a little longer, and I did find some interesting things in the woods back there, but I didn't end up filming anything, in part because I wasn't quite clear on whether I had permission to be there in the first place. And I don't want to record things that, belong to other people without their permission. So, but I did find some interesting things. I figured out, I found an interesting little section of those woods that if I do get permission, we could go back to. But here's the other thing. Now that I'm back home, I looked through some of the materials online again and did a little more research and sort of logically pieced together some of the directions that previous people who've tried to find his grave left in their writing. And it's not very clear, but from what I can tell, I think I was in the wrong place. So I wasn't in the wrong place by too far. I think I'm in the ballpark, but I think I was about half a mile too far down the hillside, because the thing about the reports about Chief Tamanend's grave is that he died up on the hillside, not down by the banks of the Neshaminy Creek where I was walking. So I thought at the time I was, again, in this video today, I was just figuring out the topography. And I thought I was a bit higher up in elevation above Neshaminy Creek than I actually was. And as I walked down that path, I came right to the banks of the Neshaminy Creek. So I was way too far down. But that was the purpose of the scouting mission, was to go try to get a sense of the topography and some of the landmarks, and see if we could find any signs of where the grave might have been. And I think I have a better idea. So in the next video, or at least at some point, we're gonna go back and I'll check another spot, and maybe we'll also go to the Mercer Museum, because on the way home I stopped in a pub for dinner, and I chatted with the bartender, and the bartender happened to be a history professor at one of the local schools in Doylestown, and he got very interested. So he's chatted for a bit, and I was trying to say, Chief Tamanend apparently was buried on Prospect Hill. So where is Prospect Hill in Doylestown? There's no such hill labeled on the map. And this history teacher, I think his name was Mark, right? Matt. Thanks for chatting with me. And he helped me figure out that I was sort of more towards the base of what probably was Prospect Hill. So next time I go back, we'll go higher up in elevation, up the hillside, which is about half a mile or so back up the road. I think it's Upper State Road. And it's the area I want to explore next time is at the corner of Bristol and Upper State Road. So that's where we'll go next. But yeah, thanks for coming along on that scouting mission. And to finish it off, here's a little Abe. Yeah. All right. Thanks for coming on this scouting mission, and hopefully next time we'll actually get closer to the real area where Chief Tamanend was buried. So, okay, bye.